All right, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So we're going to dive straight into it here with Akane-Banashi's Chapter 14, or Story 14, I guess. The Type to Hold a Grudge. As you have, story by Yuki Suwanaga, art by Takamasa Moe, with Rakugo supervision by Keiki Hayashiya, translation by Stephen Paul, and lettering by Asnira Aaron. And we have Koguma Ani-san is the Shiguma School's best Terakoya, a master of old literary teachings. He's a former Tokyo University student, graduated at the top of his class. He was in their Rakugo club and took part in many competitions as a student. Nakane's Tokyo University? It's that's exactly who you'd want for help on this, right? Let's go hear what he has to say. I'm sure it'll be helpful. And you see at the Higashi Fukugawa Library. Koguma's just no, it won't. It's can't you help me? It's please, Ani-san. He's no. I don't know your reasons, but if you ask me, entering an amateur competition when you've already been accepted here is trashy, unacceptable, unbelievable, baffling. You see, just all these things, arrow word bubbles just slapping into or stabbing into Akane's head. He's I didn't think he would be like this. It's he can have a sharp tongue sometimes. It's I know I'm the one in the wrong though. It's are you listening? It's yes sir, sorry sir. So for one thing, your education is Kyoji's job, not mine. What makes him think he can slack on his duties? It's I'm sorry, but fucking keep getting his name, Koguma. It's should you really be referring to your senior so casually? And Guriki's no, dummy. He's huh? It's Koguma Ani-san. It's Kyoji Ani-san senior, not the other way around. Oh, shit. God, this wimpy looking little motherfucker's apparently 29. See, Kyoji Ani-san is 28 and is in his 9th year of his apprenticeship. And Koguma's 29 and he's apparently in his 11th year. So Koguma Ani-san is older and has more seniority. And Akane is totally shocked by this. And he's sorry, I don't emanate dignity. He's I'm so sorry. It's fine, I'm not offended. Go back to Kyoji Ani-san. He's oh, don't say that. I just really, really want to win the Karaku Cup. And he grabs a flyer out of her bag and gives it to him. He's I don't care why you... And he stops for a moment as he sees who the head judge is. He's please, I need this. It's fine, I'll help you. It's huh? It's what are you doing? Come on, I have a performance later. Let's make it quick. It's I see. So that's the situation. Well, start by showing me your Jugamu. It's huh? Right now? It's how do I offer you advice without seeing it first? Nakane's well, alright, here goes. It's what's to be done? It's the 7th night already. 7 days since our baby was born. It's Hachigoro asked the priest what name he should give his newborn son. It's I want to give him an auspicious name. It's the priest gives Hachigoro a list of all potential names. It's I'll give my boy all of these names. And so the son was given the name. It's honey, did you hear? Our son Jugumo Goko no Suri Kazuru Kajari Sugio no Sugiyomatsu Ungoyamatsu. Fucking hell. Ungoyamatsu Furiyamatsu Kuneru Tokoro ni Sumo Tokoro Yaburako Ji no Burako Ji Paipo no Shuringan no Gurunda no Ponpoko ni Ponpoko pi no Ponpoko na no Cho Kyume no Chosuke. Holy fuck, that's a tongue twister and a half. Struck little Kinchan on the head and gave him a lump. And you have Guriko thinking, the key to Jugamu is this repeated phrase. It all comes down to whether you can get laughs with that long name and what you need for that. It's what? Our boy? It's a skill at enunciating. You have Jugamu, yeah, so that's why I keep calling this so early. This is a vocal exercise, trying to train her tongue to not stumble over the words of a tongue twister. You have Jugamu Goko Kaijari Kuniro Tokoro. It's the ability to speak every syllable of this lengthy sequence cleanly and clearly at a quick, rhythmic, enjoyable tempo. But you have a hee hee. She's drawing a little bit of an audience nearby with some little kids. It's she talks so fast. It's at this level. It's here, Kinchan, let me see your lump. Huh? Hey, I don't feel any lumps on your head. It's because you took so long saying his name that the lump healed on its own. And you see Komogu going, wow, very good. And the guy's ah! It's I cannot believe you just did that whole thing in public. It's huh, but you said to... It's I meant for you to show me a video of yourself practicing it. but you just started performing. It startled me. She's like, then you should have stopped me. And she's like, Gah! I was like, what do you think? I guess other students? It's like, this won't cut it. Jugumu is a basic fundamental Rakugo. It's the first story that Rakugo beginners learn, and the majority of the audience of the Karaku Cup are other Rakugo amateurs from the same student club as the participants, meaning most of the audience is capable of performing Jugumu already. They've learned it by hearing the masters do it. They know how it should sound, and you'll need to perform the same piece twice for the same audience in the preliminary round and the final round. If you want to win the Karaku Cup, you need to do something difficult that gets a variety of laughs from people. Jugumu is not the right one. It's like, but I'm sure Master picked out Jugumu for a reason. It's like, but it seems like a big hurdle to overcome. What do I do? Just work on enunciating better? And he's silent before he goes, tell me, do you know the original sage or ending to Jugumu? It's like, it's not the one I just did? It's like, no, in the original sage, Jugumu dies. It's fucking dark. As Jugumu gets older, he goes swimming in the river with a friend, but they lose their footing. The friend is able to call for help, but Jugumu's name is so long that in the time taken to call for help, he drowns. The name meant to bring the child good luck is the cause of his death. Jugumu was originally an ironic story about how you can have too much of a good thing. It's like, I never knew that. It's like, you didn't do the research. Aren't you interested in Rakugo stories? Don't you want to better understand what you're doing? It's like, I had another thought about your Rakugo just now. When you repeat the name, it's just sounds. They're not words. That's my advice. Think hard on what it means. Study hard and often, lest it slip through your fingers. And Akane is like, it's like, what? It's like, sorry, no, I really appreciate it. I was just wondering why you were being so helpful when you clearly didn't want to. Oh, God. He thinks back to her father as they're walking through... what the fuck? Sorry, I keep forgetting his name, Kokoma. I can't remember what her father's name was. He flashes back to them walking through like a bookstore, book fair area. So it looks like they're pretty close. He's like, no reason. Just turns out I'm the type to hold a grudge, that's all. It's like, well, I've got to go. Do as you will. It's like, I'm sorry for the trouble, Ani-san. Thank you. He's like, sorry, one more request. You see later, it's another performance set up. It's for Kagumo's doing a performance. It's like, I can't believe, or Koguma, sorry. I keep messing up the names. I can't believe you asked to watch his Rakugo for study purposes. It's like, what? I can't be curious? It's like, I still don't know what he meant by that comment. It's like, so your solution was to watch him and learn? You're so single-minded. It's like, what's wrong with that? It's like, nothing, you're right. It's like, I don't know any Rakugo other than Koguma Ani-san who would delve so deeply into a single story. You can learn from his performance. It's like, and you'll also find... Oh, God, what the fuck? No way. God, no. You are not doing a fucking kaiju on me and having sexy Narumi in this series. You're not doing this to me. It's like, you'll also find he's a completely different person on stage. And you see that this wimpy, nerdy-looking motherfucker's like slicked his hair back. He's looking all confident, just sauntering up on stage. God is like, what? That's Koguma Ani-san? His looks, his demeanor, everything about him seems totally different. Jeff, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. God. Alright. So, I guess thoughts on the chapter. Oh, man, kind of like, I guess I expected, I honestly felt like when they're first introduced, I think I had the thought that they're probably just university students, but the fact that they're almost 30, I think was a little bit shocking, but I guess it makes sense that, this is a craft you have to perfect over a long time, and given how old a lot of the masters and the seniors seem to be, I guess it makes sense that, of course they would be older and, it takes some time to kind of, reach the stage where they're able to, make a lucrative career out of it. So that was interesting. I love that this guy's apparently just kind of looks all meek and wimpy and all that, but he apparently has an undercurrent of confidence, and he holds grudges really bad. God, fucking tongue twister name just completely took me back, because I did not expect or think that it was gonna be such a huge ass name. But yeah, now it kind of makes sense why or how comment, it would be so hard to kind of do a story about this, because each time you say this name or repeat it out, you'd have to find like different ways to enunciate it or pronounce it without losing kind of like, I don't want to say the meaning of the name, but like making it clear like what exactly you're enunciating, like what you're saying, but giving it enough different flavor and flair that, the next time people hear it, you put different emphasis and things on it so that it feels like it's something new that people are hearing for the first time. So yeah, I can appreciate like why this would be like a challenge for someone, like why would be a good challenge for someone doing Rakugo. It's like, all right, this will help you learn how to like modulate your voice a little bit, like change it around, and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting there. But I think the part I appreciated most about this was an emphasis on something I hadn't even thought of before, which is God, I keep forgetting, like he has such a non-presence I completely keep forgetting his name. But Koguma mentions that, like, did you know like the original ending of the story, like what it was, like what the authorial intent of it was. It's supposed to meant to be an ironic story, and I do appreciate that element of it. Is like, all right, yeah, because Rakugo are entertainers. They have to recite the story, make it entertaining for people, etc. But to do that, you also have to understand, like, what the story you're telling is, like, what the author, when they wrote the story, was like, what their intent was in writing, like, what kind of emotion or effect they wanted to elicit from the story. So it's a good point to mention and, like, point that out, like, knowing what the story is about, like, who was written for, like, who was written by, are all things that can kind of inform and affect your performance. And there are things that you should be thinking about, especially for one that is, well known, because it's been in the public consciousness for so long with like the telephone game kind of thing, like the original intent, endings, whatever, can usually be kind of lost to like cultural osmosis, because of how, like, because it's been around for so long, everyone kind of just assumes that, the thing they heard about it was the actual true story, like not the popular version usually like override the original one. So I did like that little tidbit. And like I said, like, it'd be interesting to see what this Narumi looking motherfucker's gonna do, and like how he's gonna change, like how's Rakugo's gonna be different. I feel like, again, alright, we'll talk about that next chapter. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Just 2 more chapters to go before we wrap this up. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to get to chapter 15 today, and hopefully the rest of the chapters this week. And until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.